𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒 Foundation, Options, Opportunities, Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do. Hello, welcome to It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James 𝐔𝐘𝐒, and only thing I can say right now is this is a wow show. And so I'm requesting that everybody go out and grab a couple of bags of popcorn and sit back because it's such an interesting show, especially when we have guests to come on. And they want to talk about the things that they're doing to help our veterans, our firefighters, everybody that's in a life of service that requires, I believe sometimes sacrifice. Sacrifice doesn't necessarily mean that you have to die from that. Sacrifice meaning that you're giving up your well-being to protect others. And many times when we are in that situation or circumstances, we kind of experience backlog later on down the line from that. And what I'm talking about is PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and we sometimes need help. It's a lot of different forms of help out there because one shoe don't fit all. But the guest that I have on today is going to tell you the mechanism that her and her husband, Michael, is doing to help bring some happiness, some relief, some joy to help people get back on the right track. Not saying that you're completely off track, but just like I said, sometimes we need help. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But, like always, I have to introduce my great co-host, 𝐓𝐘𝐒, the one that does all the heavy lifting, that keeps me grounded, keeps me on track, and keep this great show of ours, It's Your Life, focused. How you doing, Michelle? How you doing out there?
Doing great. I'm really excited about today's show. Like you said, our veterans, first responders, etc., they go through things that unless we were in their position, we cannot even imagine. And, PTSD, maybe repressed memories of what they went through. We have this guest today who's going to talk about what her nonprofit organization provides to help those who have gone through these things. And we're just really excited about this topic.
excited about the topic, and also I want everyone, regardless of where you at, where you listening to, either you watching it on E360 TV, Roku TV, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Did I forget Instagram? I mean, all of this is live at the same time. And so, if you want to be part of this great conversation with this great guest, Tammy, all you have to do is go to the comments portions of it and just first of all, streamyard.com/Facebook. Please authorize Facebook to present your comments on StreamYard to present your comments, and we will make sure that whatever question you got for this great lady, we'll make sure she get it. So won't you join and be part of this great conversation we're looking forward to? Michelle, I want to get this thing started because this is such a great topic and it's such a great thing that this nonprofit organization is doing. So can you please introduce the show to our viewers and also tell our viewers what the purpose of the show is?
Yes, the title of the show is Saddles in Service. And the purpose of the show is getting to know Saddles in Service CEO Tammy 𝐆𝐿, discuss the nonprofit organization Saddles in Services and the services it provides, learn how and why horses are used in helping veterans, first responders, law enforcement, firefighters, EMTs, and their families dealing with PTSD, anxiety, depression, stress, and traumatic brain injuries, and discuss the populations that are being served and how the public can help this great nonprofit organization.
Why don't you please introduce this great guest?
Yes, Tammy 𝐆𝐿. Mike and Tammy's dream of Saddles in Service became a reality when Mike retired from the United States Navy in 2016. They purchased an equestrian ranch in Alpine, California. A few months later, Tammy learned about a group of horses that had been rescued from an abusive environment and were in need of forever homes. 2 days later, they had their first 2 rescue horses. Today, they have 16 amazing horses, each one with a unique story. Tammy wanted to not only rescue the horses, but also give them a new purpose. Her passion for veterans and their families, paired with a love of horses, created the idea of Saddles in Service. The idea grew to include first responders, law enforcement, firefighters, EMTs, and their families. These heroes have a calling to serve their nation and their local communities. Throughout their service, many of these heroes encounter unimaginable hardships that can create lifelong physical and mental health challenges. Tammy wanted to create a place where heroes can begin their journey of healing alongside rescued and adoptive horses. In 2017, Tammy and Mike started to put the foundation in motion. She enlisted the help of her good friend, Jill Breen. Together, they created the nonprofit organization known as Saddles in Service. Saddles in Service opened to the public in December of 2017. Today, Saddles in Service has served over 648 heroes and has expanded to Texas and Wyoming. Ladies and gentlemen, the 𝐓𝐘𝐒 Show, It's Your Life, proudly welcomes Tammy 𝐆𝐿, the CEO of Saddles in Service.
How you doing, Tammy? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. And James, I want to tell you, I want to thank you for your service to our great nation.
Thank you so much. You know, I first discovered you through my great friend Paula Shaw. You was on her show, and I was watching that show, and I was amazed about all the great things that your organization that you and Michael are doing, and being a veteran myself and being diagnosed with PTSD, you know, mild form of it, but there's still it just wow, it's just exciting to see some of the things that you all are doing and the methods that you all are using to help these service members and these firefighters and, you know, first responders, all of those great things. So Tammy, can you tell our viewers where you grew up and what was it like growing up in your area?
Sure. I grew up in Covina, California. Whenever I say I'm from Covina, people say, "Oh, West Covina." I go, no, Covina. But it's just, outside of LA County. I was kind of on that border of LA, Riverside and Orange County. And, I lived in the same house my whole life. And then, married a sailor, then never lived in the same place for more than 2 years again.
Marrying a sailor, you know what? I think that's one of the greatest things a young lady can do in the world, because I guess I'm a little biased, but I'm a sailor.
Yes. Yes.
So what was it like being a military spouse?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, I never complained about the moves. I would we had two boys. We have two small, or at the time they were small boys. They're not little anymore. But we would, every time we would move, the boys and I would find something really cool each one of us wanted to see in our new place. And so it was always an adventure for us. Mike was gone a lot. He deployed quite often. And so it was always the two boys and myself. And we've lived all over the world. We've seen so many different cultures and experienced so many amazing people and places. And it was fantastic. I've never complained. We had a great life, and I loved being a military wife, just for all we got to see and do.
Wow. I'm looking at the beautiful pictures of the horses on the back wall,
Wow.
in your background. Tell me, did you always have a love for horses, or did that develop over a period of time?
I have loved horses since I can remember, and I don't even know what age that would be. But I have this picture that I saw the other day. I think I was like 4 years old, and I'm all dressed up in the Western dressage clothes they would wear when they would do these, Western shows. And my aunt is leading me on her horse. So I'm this little cowgirl, and I don't remember that day at all, but I know I've loved horses my entire life. They're so majestic. There's something about these horses that just draw you in, and once you've been drawn in, you never want to get out.
Wow. You know what? I want you to hold that thought, because I want to show this short. I got a couple of them, but I want to show this short video. And then we're going to talk about saddles and service. And we're going to find out why you came up with that title. But I want our viewers to see this. So
I served one tour in Afghanistan as an Army Ranger. This program has helped me tremendously with finding who I am and finding joy and purpose in my life.
The Saddles and Service Equine Therapy and Horse Rescue Program at Storm Sons Ranch was founded to challenge first responders, active duty military, veterans, and their families to rediscover their strength, purpose, and confidence through the freedom of a horse. Our method is to rescue horses, rehabilitate and train them, and give them a purpose. That purpose is to be a partner to our heroes. Our hope is that by partnering horse and hero together, each will find healing for whatever is hurting them. We hope to see you soon at the ranch.
wow. Yeah, that just runs chills down you. I love horses as well. And I was asking you prior to us going to the short video, and you were telling us how long have you engaged in horses, So watching that, why did you come up with the name? I feel like calling it Saddles and Service.
I can tell you, we were coming up with all these different names, and I would check, and I'm like, oh, someone has that name. So one day I was in the round pen, and I had the saddle on my horse, and I was moving him in the round pen, exercising him, and I'm just looking at different parts of their, the saddle or the bridle, and I'm thinking, gosh, what could we name it? And then I was like, oh, he's got the saddle on. He was Saddles in Service, because, the horses are now serving the veterans and first responders. Or it could be that, just the service people that we help on a daily basis. So Saddles in Service, that's how it was in the round pen.
Wow. So I thought Michelle was getting ready to ask a question. I guess she's on
I'm sorry, I'm just mesmerized with horses. But horses are beautiful animals. So, obviously you have a love for horses, Tammy, and, in your bio says that you wanted to do something for our veterans, first responders, firefighters, EMTs, etc. So what feedback have you received? Well, actually, let me do a two-part question. How does Saddles in Service help the veterans, the first responders with issues such as anxiety, stress, PTSD? How does the horses help them, and what is the process? How is that done?
Okay, so, horses are, first of all, they're so majestic. There's something about these horses that bring this calming spirit to humans. Just touching a horse, and you can feel your heart rate just start to slow. And so, they find that horses never lie. First of all, horses never lie. Horses don't judge. And so a lot of our veterans and first responders that are dealing with post-traumatic stress or anxiety or depression, they're always concerned, or in the back of their mind, they might be struggling with something that they've done in the past, or they didn't do in the past, or about the future. And so horses don't judge. They don't care. They just want to be with you, and they want to know that they're safe with you and that you can be their leader. So these guys and girls that come out here, they have to learn how to be in the present first and foremost, because if you're not in the present and you're not all in with that horse, you watch a horse just walk right away from you because they're like, you're not with me. And a lot of these guys they're a little bit nervous when they first meet the horses. Mm-hmm. But what's interesting is if someone is nervous, the horse will feel it. They can feel or hear your heart rate, your heartbeat from 4 feet away, which is uncanny to me, but this is what research says. And if your heart rate is racing because you're nervous, the horse is going to be a little nervous. And so they have to learn how to breathe and to really calm themselves down. And then that horse will come right up to them. So the horse gives them instant feedback. There's a lot of like yoga therapy and other things out there, music therapy. But with a horse, and they're all great, by the way, I'm not saying they're not great, but with a horse, you're getting instant feedback on what you're putting out.
Feedback. Hold that thought. Instant feedback. Okay. Instant feedback. We got to take a station break, but we're going to come back. Okay. With this great lady and talk more about all the great things that Saddles in Service does for our veterans and our first responders. And we're just going to get a chance to know her and Mike a little bit more. So I tell you what, you want to be part of this great conversation, go to the comments, ask her any questions you want to, and we'll make sure she get it. We'll be back with the 𝐐𝐍𝐶 Show, It's Your Life, shortly after the break.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the 𝐄𝐍𝐼𝐒 Show. It's your life. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the 𝐄𝐍𝐼𝐒 Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and to overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The 𝐄𝐍𝐼𝐒 Show. It's your life.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I tell you, we got this absolutely fantastic guest that was telling us right before the break, just explaining how horses, they have this instinct. They can tell whether you're nervous. They can tell whether, some of the things that might be going through your mind. And so I want Tammy to pick it up from there, because that was such a great way of explaining that, and I did not know all of these things. So Tammy, can you pick it up and let's go with that?
Sure. So that instant feedback that the horse will give you, not just with nonverbal communication and how you're feeling, or maybe what's happening in your life at that moment. But I had a Marine, and he was working with a horse, and he was a big, tall Marine. He was 6'4", 6'5", and the horse would not join up with him. And he kept saying, "What am I doing wrong? Why won't this horse join up with me?" And so I was watching him, and I looked at the way he was standing, and he was kind of hunched over, kind of in an aggressive kind of stance. I mean, not overly, but there, it wasn't a relaxed stance. I said, "I don't know, look at the way you're standing, maybe relax." He relaxed his shoulders. That horse came right up to him. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that I was standing in a manner that could, be kind of aggressive." So I asked him if, when he goes to the grocery store, if he's walking down an aisle and someone's coming opposite towards him, do they turn around and go the other way because of his appearance or how he's carrying himself? And he goes, "I have to start seeing how I'm doing. I don't know." So the horses really, they give us that instant feedback on just how we approach them, how we ask them things, and not verbally. It's all nonverbal communication. But it's super interesting when we start realizing what we're putting out there, what people may perceive, even though that's not our intention. And the horses give you that instant feedback.
Wow, that's actually an accurate statement. With any like domesticated animal, they can sense a person's, I would say spirit, whether you're anxious, whether you're happy, whether you're relaxed. I definitely agree with that. So Tammy, let's say I'm a first responder, a veteran, or the people that the Thousand Service, services. How often do I come to your organization to spend time or therapy with the horses? Is there like a set limit? Can I come every day? Can I come twice a day? What are the rules regarding that?
Okay, so that's a great question. So for us, I really felt that this needed to be the type of program that was individually tailored to each person, right? Because all of us are in different places in our lives and our healing, and even just the constraints, time constraints that we may have. So our heroes, that's what we call all of our program participants, are heroes. They come either once a week once every other week, depending on their schedule. Some of them come a few times a week. They'll come one day for their program and then maybe another day or two just to continue working with the horses and volunteer. So really, I've had heroes come out here and they just pick it up so fast, and they're, within a month, we're out on trails. I mean, they're great. And then some people go a little bit slower, and it's great. It's okay. We really want to meet everyone where they're at and what their needs are. So there's no time frame. We don't put a limit like, 8 sessions or 3 days or 3 weeks, because I feel like if you only get to spend 3 days with a horse, well, then what? You're finding this healing and you're finding something you love. I would never want that to then be, okay, thanks, your time's up. And so, we have veterans and first responders here that have been here for over 2 or 3 years. Now they've gone through our program and they're actually now learning how to be wranglers and helping other veterans and first responders. So we're really building horsemen and horsewomen is what we're doing.
So how does your horse therapy program, how does Saddles and Service differ from other horse therapy programs? So that's question 1A. And 1B is, what activities does the recipient do with the horses? I'm just picturing riding. I mean, do they do like clean out their, I don't know. It could be stables or just petting the horse. I don't know. So that's question B.
Okay. So question 1A. So we do not have psychotherapy here at the ranch. That was the one thing I felt, our most of our heroes that are coming out here have therapists. They go to therapy. And I didn't want to have that here as well. I wanted this to be a natural setting for the hero and the horse, and just a holistic area where they weren't wondering if they were being analyzed as they were with a horse, right? So that's one way we're different. And in the other way, just that our program is open-ended. We just continue. We don't have that time limit. And, it's free of charge. We don't charge anything for our heroes going through our program. And then another way we're different too is we have a graduation ceremony for them where we send them up to our site in Wyoming for a week. We pay for everything. And they're 7 hours in the saddle each day. They're moving cattle through the Bighorn Mountains and making leather at night. They'll make leather chaps or saddlebags or whatever. But yeah, and our program is such we're one big family. If a veteran, a first responder walks through our gate, they already know us because we're family. We understand them. And so I think the culture here, that big family and that service oriented heart and mind. So that really, I really think that sets us apart in that. And then, so what our heroes do also kind of sets us apart in this as well. So we teach them everything there is to know about the horse. Yes, we start with the predator-prey relationship. That's their prey animals and we're predators. And so it's a very dynamic, relationship there, right? With our dogs, it's a predator-predator, but with a horse, it's a predator-prey. And so they just want to know they're safe with us. So we teach them how to understand what the horse is telling them just by their nonverbal communication. And they learn how to muck, they water, they groom the horse, because really grooming the horse, you're building a relationship with your horse. And I know for me, I don't want to just get on a horse that I know nothing about. I want to spend a little time and I'm going to groom him and hug on him and kiss on him. And just really get to know the horse. And so they learn how to groom and why we groom. We put them in a round pen. They learn how to exercise their horse and to really communicate with your horse. So we've been teaching people when they're getting their horse to trot in a round pen, I'll tell them, okay, when you're ready for this horse to start slowing down, I want you to just focus on your breathing, and I want you to breathe your horse down. Literally, that horse can feel our heart rate slowing, and they slow down. They connect with us. And so it's just so powerful what the horses do. But they learn how to ride. They can walk, trot, canter. We teach them how to emergency dismount, because it is a horse, right? And you never know what could set off a horse. I mean, they have their own minds too. But we teach them all about safety. And then once they can show that they can walk, trot, and canter, they have control, we take them on trails. And we also do cattle. So we take them to a ranch down the road. We work cattle, and that's where, you have the hero and their horse, and they're a team, and they're moving cattle as a team. And it's just so, it's such a neat feeling to have that.
Wow. That's absolutely wonderful information. We're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back and we're going to pick it up from there. And I tell you, if our viewers, our listeners, I know that you're excited about this. If you want to be part of this great conversation with Tammy, go to the comments portion on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc., and just ask her any questions that you want to ask her. But I just see I got 3 comments just popped up right now. But we're going to get to those comments as soon as we get back from the break. It's your life. I'm Dr. James 𝐔𝐘𝐒. We'll see you shortly after the break.
Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences, raw conversations, one destination for it all. E360 TV.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James 𝐔𝐘𝐒, and I am learning so much about horses and about their personalities, like what Tammy is saying, about how they interact with others. So I want to take the conversation to the level of figuring out how are these horses helping these veterans, first responders, how are they relating to each other and helping each other. I believe that's a team effort. So, hey, Tammy, so how does horses help our veterans and first responders dealing with PTSD, anxiety, depression, stress, traumatic brain injuries, and etc.?
You know, horses mirror whoever is in front of them. So, and when I say that, it's really they mirror what we're putting out, what we're feeling inside, the energy we're putting out, the nonverbal communication that we're doing, and the horse will mirror you. And I have an example. The one horse that was in the video, he was beautiful. He had the blue eyes. He was a black and white paint. That was my horse. And he could feel when I was getting anxious. And as soon as he started feeling it, he would kind of get a little bit jiggy as I'm riding him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, stop. You're freaking me out. And he would feed off my anxiety. And so I had to really stop, and I would have to breathe, and I would have to say, okay, you know what? There's nothing to be anxious about. I need to be strong, and I need to be present here with my horse. And so we really learn from the horses. I had said earlier that instant feedback. I mean, we get it instantly from the horse, and we can then adjust. You can take a second and say, wow, what am I doing? What am I putting out there to this horse right now? And we had a Navy guy. He was an EOD tech, so he did the bombs. His anxiety was just off the charts. I've never to this day seen anyone with the anxiety level that this young guy had. So when I was choosing what horse I was going to work him with, I decided to take the horse that had the highest amount of anxiety. I mean, this horse had so much anxiety. And so I think some of my wranglers were like, oh my gosh, why are you going to put him with her? Like, she has anxiety. This is going to be a nightmare. They put him with Dylan. Dylan's calm. And I said, but what's Dylan going to teach him? What is Dylan going to teach him about himself? And so we paired him with Barbie, and he had to come out of his own anxiety to help her and to keep her calm. He fell in love with this horse. And so he would say to me, I can't tell you how good it feels to be out of my own head when I'm here, because I'm someone I used to be with this horse. And, the hope is the more that they are out here and the more they experience that, it's easier for them to get back into that place when something does, maybe cause anxiety or a situation. They can think back on what how that horse helped them, how they felt, how good it was to feel that way again. And so, just horses are just a great, I don't want to say they're a tool, because they're not a tool. And some people use them as a tool. They're great partners, and they're great partners in a healing journey. And that's how I see this. Our heroes are on a healing journey with a horse.
Wow. So basically, I think you said that horse brought him back into the present, wherever his mind might have been. It brought him back to being him.
Yes.
That is so wonderful. I tell you, I meant to ask this question a while back, but where do you get your horses from? And how do you train them to match up with the clients that you put them with? I'm talking about the veterans and first responders.
Okay, sure. So our first two horses we got them at the Humane Society. One had been confiscated from a really bad, neglectful situation. The other horse had been abandoned. Someone just let him loose. They couldn't care for him, and unfortunately, we see that happen where people just let their horses go and they abandon them. And so those were the first 2 horses we got. Mike was actually, his retirement ceremony and party was on a Thursday or a Friday. And I found these horses on a Wednesday, and I go, okay, I'm bringing them tomorrow. And he goes, wait, we have all these people coming from like all around the world for this party and my ceremony, and you're bringing in horses? I go, yeah, why not? I go, are you afraid that you won't be the life of the party now? These horses will be. So we brought them in the day before the retirement. And, these horses were great horses. Now, a lot of our horses we do have are rescue horses. We don't go in and rescue horses. That's not what we do. But what we do is we will partner with some other rescues that go into those slaughter auctions and rescue horses. And then we will adopt them from them. And then we'll work with the horses and just kind of repurpose them and make sure they're sound and they can be ridden. And, that they're going to be a good match for heroes. And then we also have horses that people, their owners surrender. So they either couldn't take care of the horse any longer, or, something has happened, maybe a divorce, or someone has passed away or moved. And so we have taken on owner surrender horses. And then our 2 most recent horses are Border Patrol horses. They're Mustangs. And they're really cool. Oh my gosh, are those cool horses to have a Mustang. I've always wanted a wild Mustang. And now these Border Patrol horses were being retired, and they came to us and said, we really feel they're going to serve another purpose with you. And so this is how we've been receiving some of our horses, and we work with them, we ride them. We have great wranglers who give back to our veterans and first responders and our horses, and we just help ride the horses and make sure they're good. They don't have any bad issues, or maybe physical issues, and then we pair them up.
Wow. I want to mention again that Saddles and Service is a nonprofit organization. So our viewers out there, you see what great work that this organization is doing. I want to show you a quick short video, and then we're going to come back and talk about the nonprofit organization and how you can help build and increase this the services that this great lady is doing. So here is a short video. Wow. Yeah, that's fantastic. You all are doing everything, including training the horses, and also teaching the the patients or whoever or the service members how to do certain things. There seems like a
Yes.
fun to be.
And, you know, I think you and Michelle need to come out sometime, because we'll also teach you how to rope. We'll teach you how to throw a rope, and we'll teach you everything.
You know what? We would be heading to California. We're in Texas right now, Dallas, Fort Worth. But we're heading supposedly to our California home Saturday, where we're gonna spend the summer there. So
Nice.
we might take you up on that. You know?
I would love to have you out, and you are welcome anytime. And you know, we have a Saddles and Service in Texas, in Elkhart.
Don't know what.
I don't know Elkhart by College Station. That's all I know.
Okay,
I
up
haven't
toward
been out
Houston, up toward Houston area. Yeah, so yes, that's a couple hours away, like 3.5, something like that.
Oh, that's far.
Tammy, I got a question for you. Looking at the videos of the organization, I see, adult horses, basically. Does your organization have ponies, or have you ever adopted or brought in a horse, let's say that was pregnant and, had their offspring? And do you also, let's say, train or ponies to connect with veterans and first responders?
That's a good question. So we have never had a horse have a colt or foal out here.
Mhm.
We have adopted a 2-year-old horse that knew nothing, so we fully trained her. She, was such a smart horse. But like the ponies, are you talking about those little miniature horses, miniature ponies? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that too. And of course the colts, a newborn
Yes.
horse and everything like that. Yes.
Okay, so we hope to do some colt starting where we're going to have our veterans and first responders learn how to train a horse from the very beginning. And that's a lot of work, a lot of patience. But we do plan on starting that in the near future. But the little miniature horses that a lot of people have, the first time my horse, and we were going to do cattle one evening, and I get my horse out of the trailer, and you would have thought he saw the devil himself. And my horse was snorting, and he's watching this little miniature horse on a walker, a hot walker that just kind of goes around. Oh my gosh. I told my husband, we are never having miniature horses, because did you see how my horse responded to that? And so sometimes it's funny, these little miniature horses scare the big horses. I don't know what it is, but but we don't have any of the miniature horses, but we do plan on doing some colt starting. I'm not sure how soon, but that'll be a really cool program we'll introduce probably in the next year and a half.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Tammy, so how long is the program, and how long does it take for someone to get through it?
So, we've had people go through the program in as little as 6 months. Some take a little bit longer, maybe a year. And then there's some that, after just a couple months, oh my gosh, they're just, they're phenomenal in the saddle. And there's really nothing more we can teach them, but we can get them riding and really just put a lot of hours in the saddle, so then they can help teach other veterans and first responders. But our program it's a 7-phase program, which really goes through all that, the horse psychology and physiology, riding, care for a horse, and then also going to Wyoming, doing cattle, and just really doing things with your horse. It's not just like, I'm going to ride my horse. Like, me and my horse are going out because we're going to go, move cattle. We're a team. And so, and it really depends on the physical ability, or how quickly someone just catches on to riding horses.
Wow.
And it's usually like once a week, once every other week for 2 hours.
Is there a graduation process in what you all are doing, or it's just the service member or first responder just go through it and they just walk away? Do they get a certificate or something?
So, well, I'll tell you. So we have this, I'm going to just show this. We have these hero levels. So they have to go through all these different things and they have to get signed off on it. Like we actually test them on it, you know, because we're really serious about the horsemanship part of this. And so once they've gone through all those levels and we're saying, wow, you have passed all these levels, you're doing great, we're sending you to Wyoming for your graduation. And that's where they'll go up for a week and we cover all the expenses and they go and do riding and moving cattle and leather working. We haven't done a certificate and I think we need to. I guess we send them to Wyoming, but I think we need to do a certificate, a really cool certificate that has, the cowboys. So, yeah.
So Tammy, tell us about your Saddles and Service sponsors and partners and, who has, contributed, helped the organization, as well as how can someone apply to be a sponsor and a partner as well?
Sure. We have some great sponsors, but we're always in need of sponsors because horses are very expensive. But we just received a $155,000 grant from the 𝐆𝐔𝐘𝐒 Foundation. They are a phenomenal foundation that serves foundations like ours that work with veterans and first responders and mental health. And we've had so many people that want to come to our program from out of state, and we don't have a bunkhouse or a place for them to stay. So the 𝐆𝐔𝐘𝐒 Foundation said they wanted for us to build a big barn and bunkhouse so that we can start offering our program for people out of state. We could do an in residence program for a week or up to 3 weeks. And so they're a phenomenal organization, 𝐆𝐔𝐘𝐒. Oh my goodness. And the San Diego Police Officers Association, the San Diego Sheriffs, the Sheriffs Officer Association, the Chula Vista Police Officers Association, and San Diego Fire and Rescue. They're sponsoring our horses. They've recognized what great things we're able to give to their, servicemen, their police officers, their firefighters. And so they're helping sponsor horses, just to support their own personnel who are coming here to do the program. We have SDG&E has been a sponsor for us out here. BW Industrial Sales is a big sponsor. And one of my favorites is Lovey to My Tummy. She's a 15-year-old girl. She's a baker. She's amazing. And her family helped her start this company, Lovey to My Tummy. And she makes great cookies. Let me tell you, everyone's really excited when Claire comes to the ranch. So we have a lot of individual sponsors, and it's so wonderful to see people want to give back to our veterans and also our first responders and the horses. Some people really just support us because of the horses, some for the veterans or first responders, and then some for, the entire, horse and hero. And so, people can go to our website, saddlesandservice.org, not .com, .org. And you can sponsor a horse. You can do a monthly sponsorship or sponsor the horse for the year. You can also sponsor heroes to go through our program. I'll tell you one thing about us that is unique too, maybe not unique, but I think it's pretty unique. We only have 2 part-time paid employees. So I run Saddles and Service. I don't get paid. We have no executive salaries at all. So 98 cents of every dollar donated goes directly into our program, and less than 2 cents goes into administrative costs. And so, for me, it was more important to be able to, supply or to be able to offer this to as many veterans and first responders as we can. And, like I said, it's expensive. You have the farrier comes, does their shoes, their hooves. That's $2,200 every 6 weeks. Feed is over $4,000 a month just for food for the horses. And then the veterinary costs, and they get vaccines and they have their teeth done. And, so it's fairly expensive. And so, any type of sponsorship, we are always grateful for that.
Wow. Yeah. Yes. So potential sponsors, please help out. This is such a great thing that Saddles and Services is doing. And I tell you, we're down to the last couple of minutes of the show, Tammy, but you had mentioned that you got a couple of locations. So real quickly, where you got one in Texas. I know we got one in California right outside of San Diego. Where you got another location or any
in Wyoming? That's in Wyoming. Shell, Wyoming, right outside of Cody.
Okay. So if somebody wanted to volunteer to help out the organization real quickly, how would they be able to do that?
They go right on our website, and there's a volunteer tab. You just fill it out. It's a short little questionnaire. And also, if someone wants to do the program, go straight to the website. And also sponsoring horses or sponsoring heroes really helps. And we're having a big event November 4th. So save the date, November 4th at Viejas Resort. We're going to have a big gala.
We might have to put you back on television and also talk about that one when it get close to that time.
That would be great. That would be great.
I tell you, 30 seconds or less, or any takeaways that you want our viewers and our listeners to get from this great interview that we are having today?
You know what? I just want people to join us in the fight against the suicide rates for our veterans and first responders, because first responder suicide rates are going up. And, we'd love to have the help from others. Just help us fight this horrible thing that is happening to our heroes.
Wow. I want to thank you so much for coming on. Thanks for the show. It's your life. I tell you, and I mean this, we got to have you back on because it's so many other questions that Michelle and I wanted to ask. And maybe next time our listeners and our viewers will have the courage to, come on and ask some questions. So I want to thank you and thank your husband, Mike, for the great job that you guys are doing, and veterans, first responders, firemen, all of these things. Wow, that's a great avenue, especially if you in San Diego, Wyoming, or Texas. Look up Saddles and Service. And I tell you what, thanks so much, and I want to leave everybody. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back next week. I tell you, we're picking up another day. So we're picking up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on E360 television. Of course, like I said, we're on 18 different streaming networks, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, etc. Live, Amazon, Fire, a lot of these things, all these things are live at the same time. So there's no reason in the world that you should not be able to click on and watch this show. Until next week, we love you. Dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And we will see. Tammy, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll see you.
Thank you.